Hi, Bethany.
Hi.
I'm going to do that again. All right. Hi, Bethany.
Hey, Betty.
Hi, Betty. I don't know about you, but I hated gym class as a kid. It was like the worst part of elementary school and junior high and probably high school.
Wait, gym? Just the PE?
Just PE class.
What's your worst experience?
Absolutely. Because they would just have a rope hanging from the wall. And then they would send me, the chubby little gay fat kid, up to the rope and say, climb it, without ever showing you how to do it. And then I would just sit there at the bottom of the rope and all the kids would laugh at me.
Like a 90s movie?
Like all of the 90s movies.
Oh,
that was my experience. And I got picked last. I always got hit in the face with the dodgeball. Oh. And what I've realized is that has kind of affected my adult relationship with fitness and going to the gym and working out with other people and all of that.
Of course it has. That makes perfect sense to me. I mean, and I'm sorry that happened because that's lame.
It is lame. Did you have tell me, you did not have that experience. I can tell by your face.
Well, now I don't want to tell you my experience.
You hit the kid with the dodgeball.
No, I think because I'm a petite person and, I'm 4'11" and I presented a certain way and I have this voice and no one expected me to be athletic, but I was secretly kind of good at all of those things.
You were really good at it.
I was never fast.
Okay.
But
like pull-ups? Could you do pull-ups?
It is so funny that you asked about pull-ups because I was literally thinking I'm not joking. For those of you watching, you're going to be dumbfounded right now. I won the pull-up competition.
No.
Yes.
Wow.
When I was this is 5th grade.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hung there and just cried and he wouldn't let me finish, get off until I actually did one.
I could just I just kind of knew what to do with my body.
That's amazing. Well, today's guest is somebody who also kind of started like me and then turned into someone like you.
Well, go on.
Matty Maggiacomo is one of the most wonderful, enlightening, joyful instructors at Peloton.
I love this man.
And I think what I'm most excited about is hearing how he started as a theater kid and somebody who hated being in those rooms. And now he's at the front of them in front of millions of people.
Yep. And you know what else I love about Matty is that he doesn't make exercise seem like work.
Yeah.
He's really good about just saying, find how your body wants to move.
Yeah.
And just move. Just move.
Totally.
I can't wait to talk to him. I can't believe he's here.
This is Brain Glitter.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Brain Glitter. Now it's time to play our favorite game, Confetti Regretti.
Yep.
If you're a listener, you already know the rules, which is Sam and I just share a highlight and a low light of our week. Sam, why don't you go first?
Well, it's been a while since we've seen each other, so good to see you, of course.
How do I look?
You look fantastic.
Thank you.
Better than ever.
That's what I thought.
Which brings me to my confetti. Ooh. It's a big confetti. This is like a life confetti. I got to go on tour with Mel Robbins for 2 months, which was not as a graphic designer, which is what I do for a living, but actually as a performer for the first time ever. And we got to do 22 shows in
Holy cow.
15 cities, including 4 countries, New Zealand, Australia, America, and Canada. And I think it was 100,000 people is what we performed in front of. Sydney was 9,000 people or something crazy.
Wow.
I know. It was by far one of the best and greatest experiences of my life. If you don't know who Mel Robbins is, and I'm not sure how that's possible, but she has one of the leading podcasts in the entire world. She's an amazing person. She's a great friend of several years. And she asked me to open for her in her show as the drag persona Melodrama.
And man, that woman is wild.
She is wild. She's got blonde hair. She's got great makeup.
Do you know how many comedians and others that I work with who have never performed in front of that many people.
And I was just like such a small, tiny part of the show. And I had like that pressure and then doing it night after night and the traveling. And
Okay, so you got to perform with Mel Robbins.
yeah, just no big deal. No big deal. Just performed and it was awesome. And it was like the best confetti of my life.
Congratulations.
Thank you, my dear.
And I missed you and I'm glad you're back.
I missed you too. And you know what? The best part was I was really happy to come home. How about you? What's your confetti?
My confetti is that I started taking Pilates. Our confettis do not match. Let me just say that. I started taking Pilates and my instructor was like, in a couple of weeks, you're going to be able to like just isolate these muscles and you're going to be able to like want that muscle to flex and it will flex. And it just started happening.
Really?
Yes.
That's amazing.
It feels so good.
I love you.
I love you too.
All right. We'll be right back with Matty Maggiacomo.
Woo!
Hello, everybody. Our guest today is someone I have known for a very long time. Matty Maggiacomo grew up as a self-described kind of pudgy gay kid from Smithfield, Rhode Island. He moved to New York. You started your career as a broadcast newscaster and then completely changed gears. And you started working as a fitness instructor, which is, there we go. Thank you for the flex. For
my
those watching,
gosh.
we're getting a nice flex here.
For those not watching,
Start
you
watching.
missed out.
Now, Matty is one of Peloton's most recognizable and most beloved instructors, and you are very well known for turning a workout into a full-blown Broadway sing-along and party. He's a pro ambassador for the Athlete Ally, where they advocate for queer inclusion in sports and fitness. So, after much ado, please welcome my friend, our friend, Matty Maggiacomo to Breakaway.
Yay!
That was such a delightful introduction. Maybe the most dynamic introduction I've ever witnessed.
Thank you.
Sam!
Well, we love to start with a little game.
Okay.
It's called Spill the Glitter.
Okay.
These are the rules. Don't think too hard, just answer the damn question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
My secret obsession is?
Dinosaurs.
I will always say yes to.
Going to theater or a Broadway show.
Yes. The advice I give but have trouble following is?
Love your body. There's not a single person that doesn't wake up someday and is like, I want this to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been working on that myself lately.
Me too.
I have to remind myself every single day.
That's wild coming from you.
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy, but you never shake that image of that fat little kid playing video games.
Lately, I know this is supposed to be speed round,
Yeah,
but lately I've been sitting with this body though, and I'm like, look, she gets me everywhere.
Yeah.
I feel good.
I'd love to talk more about all of that.
If I could perform one Broadway show, it would be.
Rent.
Oh, good one.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Matty, if you had one extra hour today, you would probably.
Sleep.
Easy one. The most New York thing about me is.
I walk so fast.
Yeah.
So fast. Get out of my way. I am late.
I'm going somewhere.
I am gay and going somewhere.
The least New York thing about me.
I'm nice. Well, New Yorkers are nice, but I'm like, I don't have that like sus thing. I kind of love you. I meet you. I love you until I find out you're a freak. And honestly, maybe being a freak, I'm like, I like
Depends
you
on
more.
what kind of freak.
Yeah, totally. But like, I do smile at people.
Oh, that's
like,
a good one.
I can do that, but for the most part, I'm pretty smiley and approachable, which means all the crazy people talk to me. And sometimes I talk back.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
But have a good day, guy.
Have a good day.
Yeah. Don't stab me.
And luckily, nobody carries cash anymore, so I feel bad.
Yeah, what do you want?
What do you want? What
My
can I
little-
give you?
my
What
little
can I give
thing?
you?
No, I think about all the times I've been mugged in New York City, and I was like, I bet that doesn't happen as much anymore.
I mean, what are they?
That's how you
steal?
met your husband, right?
Yeah, he mugged me.
But he was cute, so.
Yeah, and he was like, give me your heart.
Boo.
And I was
Matty,
like, okay.
I am still curious about.
My brain is so fucked up. I'm not gonna say it.
Yes, you
I
are.
was gonna say my parents' sex life.
I'm not that different.
That's a weird thing.
No, We had a conversation with my mom about their sex life not that long ago. Because I wanted to know, like, did you have sex?
And that's why it came up. I was like, we don't really talk about, we were talking about this with some friends the other day. Like, some friends were like, my parents have never had sex in like 20 years. They haven't. And I'm like, you know what? I actually don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, my mom said to me recently, she goes, you know how relationships ebb and flow? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, right now your dad and I are really flowing.
Amazing.
Wow.
That's great.
That's great.
That's really great.
It's aspirational.
It's aspirational.
That is amazing.
Yeah, and the reason why it comes up because I was like, oh, my parents actually are in a period where I was like, oh, they really actually like each other.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Because there were periods where they didn't.
Yeah,
totally.
of course.
Anyway, I'm
So
not
they're still
sitting here thinking
together.
about my parents' sex life, but just
Now
like
you
it was
are.
in my
No,
brain.
I am.
Oh, God, no.
Now everybody listens.
And finally, joy is
The reason why you wake up every day. The best part of life.
the best part of waking up.
Great job. Great
Thank you. I got warmed up
You
and I
did
felt
it.
like we got it.
We got it.
You did a great job.
Great job.
Maddie, we have so many questions we want to ask you about.
All right. Matty, one of the things that I am most impressed about you is that you make something that is hard, difficult, and you have managed to flip it into a joyful experience. Like, tell me, how did that happen?
So we're talking about fitness, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, Sam. I was never the type of kid who innately was coordinated, athletic, felt like I belonged, wanted to be on a sports team. I wasn't overly competitive. So I never felt that like fitness was for me. I was much more inclined to stay home and watch a film or listen to an original Broadway cast album literally on my living room floor with the big headphones in front of the stereo. So I realized that if I was going to incorporate fitness into my life, I had to make it fun. And then I also realized that I needed other people. I needed accountability buddies. And then once I found group fitness, and this is why people get obsessed with group fitness,
Yes.
because it's true. Like, it's something like, the stat is something like 40% of people say that they prefer being in a pack. It is an energy thing, and you realize that you can discover, and you can almost like Trojan horse it. You can teach yourself to fall in love with something that maybe innately you weren't born to do. When people come to me and ask, what should I do? I'm like, well, don't do yoga if you hate yoga.
Right.
Yeah.
Just try as much as you can and you will find something that you fall in love with. And I realized that, like, you know what? I think I can still use my love of storytelling, my love of comedy, my love of theater, and incorporate it into fitness.
So what was the thing that made you realize that maybe you needed fitness in your life?
I was a pretty, like, static kid. I just was like, my dad was like all-star baseball. My mom was always doing aerobics. So I knew that it had to play into my life.
So you had examples.
I had examples when I moved to New York and realized, okay, I had come out. And I mean, this isn't the topic of this podcast, but we could go on for days about body image being a homosexual or an LGBTQ person, because we have a really interesting relationship with what we look like and maybe wanting to, like, we feel like something else or we want to be something else or in a very different skin that doesn't feel like who we are. Initially, and I've evolved past this, kind of wanted to look like my bullies.
Yes. Oh, interesting.
Because it meant that, okay, if I'm here and the jocks were picking on me, and already, your bullies know you're gay before you know.
Yeah.
Totally.
But I realized, you know what? I'm going to move to New York and I'm going to start like lifting and pumping iron and running and doing the things because I want to feel that way. And I want to feel superficially validated and desired.
And I love your honesty in that answer, because
Yeah,
I think
because-
that starts. I think that's for a lot of us. It starts with how you want to look, but then I think when it becomes sustainable, it's no longer appearance base only or exclusively?
Well, because you want it for the looks, and then you start to realize I'm also feeling better, and I feel different.
Yeah.
You look at yourself different. You're a little, and I think it's the feeling that can also get people a little bit more addicted to it as well.
Look at the way that we used to see fitness marketing in the past, right? We didn't have a word like wellness. All it was 10-minute abs and lose your love handles and get ripped fast. We've been able to move past that and identify that, okay, great, the superficial, the maybe getting rid of the love handles or maybe pumping up the chest, that's a nice byproduct or side effect. I didn't realize how much it was going to help me up here. And again, every podcaster who talks about wellness or fitness has talked about this. It's more about what's happening here. And it's confidence. And I say on the Peloton platform a lot, we move differently when we're feeling confident.
Yes.
You hold your body differently when you're confident. And that's an amazing thing. It's a beautiful thing when people get to that point where they're like, I know how to do this.
Just saying to Sam, though, that I've had 3 kids. Fitness hasn't been my priority lately, but I'm just getting back into it. And it's so sad. And I look the same, but like I can feel it.
Exactly.
I don't like doing things in front of people. Failure is like my biggest thing. I hate all that stuff. And it totally has followed me. Bethany, very different. She was a pro, has had 3 children, feels a little less like a pro in her body, but you're coaching both.
Of course.
So what do you say to the people like me?
Yeah, let's focus on the
people?
Sams.
I think you need to, any day is your day one. Anytime you want to go right back to it, you have to understand what your intention is. And I always say there's no wrong answer. Why did you show up today? I'll start a class and say, the most woo-woo thing I say is set your intention. But honestly, it's no, I just want to sweat. No, I just want to, burn off 500 calories today or something like that.
Yeah.
Everybody's kind of drank the juice at some point. Like you said, you know what that feels like. And isn't that a better feeling than being on the couch and being like, tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it just builds up. And I just think that once you create, not a habit, once you create that lifestyle of this is just consistent, right? The key to everything we do is that consistency.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break. And if you haven't followed us, please follow us on our social @BrainGlitterPod. We'll be right back, guys. What hot tips do you have for people that are chasing the vanity versus the wellness? And I think there's value in both.
There is. It's tricky, right? We sort of get obsessed with that. We live in a country where we're kind of sowing distrust in vaccines, and yet everybody's shooting up a GLP-1 or a peptide.
I've never thought of that.
Oh my God. That's what I should have brought from my jar, just a jar of peptides and GLP-1s. Yeah, it's a weird thing, right? Because everybody wants that quick fix and whatever. God, that is tough. I can get behind this GLP-1, under the proper guidance of a doctor, because I do know folks who it's changed everything. That said, you need to still lift weights. And we're seeing this a lot. And I'm saying this to a lot of my friends who have done it. And I say, okay, great. Full support. It's changed your life. You need to lift weights. I will say that to every single person. I said it in class just honestly an hour and a half ago. I said, and it was a beginner class too. I said, see what you're doing right now? I want you, we were doing tricep, we were doing skull crushers on the floor with lighter weights. I said, I need you to do this for the rest of your life until you're dead. Until you're dead. If you can lay down and you can put 3-pound weights in your hands, you should continue to do that, because this will increase longevity and you will live a happy, healthy life. My parents just turned 70 and they're in great shape. They are on their Peloton. They are lifting weights. My mom has a horse. She gets up and down off this giant horse. She looks great. She does it. It's amazing. It's fun.
Matty, I'm so glad you're here. And we It's been so much fun, of course. And we have a few like more hard-hitting question answer for
I'm
you.
ready.
So I'm gonna read this to you.
Stretching.
So I get it. What do you say to someone who is convinced fitness isn't for them, like myself, and they're just not wired for it?
You need to remind yourself of the love that you have specifically for this body that
Yes.
you're in. You need to start from a place of knowing and a place of love. So even if you got to lie to yourself in front of that mirror and say, you know what, I love you and I love this body, even if there are stretch marks, even if there are a few extra pounds that I don't want. Because if you start from that place of love, you're not starting at a deficit, right? You're looking in the camera. That's my life. You're looking at the mirror. You're looking at a photograph. And you're like, I hate this. Then you're entering at a deficit.
Mm-hmm.
So start from a place of love and a place of knowing. Fitness is for everybody. That is literally a truth. Like, no matter what shape you're in, you need to be doing it.
We all have to move our body.
You need to. You
what
need
it's here
to.
for.
And then find the things, we talked about accountability buddies. We talked about group fitness. Find the things that you love to do. Again, if you don't love yoga, don't do yoga. There are so many other ways to work out. You can do fencing. You can do swimming. You can do rock climbing.
And I think too, and again, I am a person who I love moving, but I think there's this attitude of just getting through it.
Mm-hmm.
And that sounds painful versus like experiencing it and enjoying it.
Isn't that great?
And
reframing, don't worry about the pain of it.
No.
Think about the fun of it. Like, find something to distract you from whatever's stopping you, whatever voice that is.
That's fine.
Yeah.
There is a difference in, like, if you're reading a full magazine or like reading a book while you're on the treadmill. I'm glad you're definitely moving. I want you to engage. That's why Peloton is kind of so good, because you really are a captive audience and you're still listening to instruction. That doesn't mean that, like, if you're on your walking pad and you're working, that's not working out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think kind of the magic of what we do is you're still captive. It's truly a captive audience, and you're still engaged in listening. You're not just totally letting the mind wander off to something else.
Yeah.
so I have another question. As a parent, I think it's so important for us to teach our kids to move their bodies and to want to move their bodies. I say to my kids, like, you have to do one thing each week that's for your body and one thing that's for your brain. So you can do gymnastics and you can do art, or you can do soccer and then you can do a robotics class or whatever. However, like, for parents out there whose kids are unmotivated to move, maybe they're older teens, and knowing that it's so important for people to develop this relationship with their body as early as possible, what hot tips do you have?
I think it's always good to model that behavior, obviously. Again, I'm not a parent yet, so I would definitely lean on you. But I know that moving into daddy era, I will show that, like, this is what it looks like and feels like. And I'm a good example of that, because though I didn't want to play baseball and dropped off the cross-country team or whatever, I still watched my mom, again, in Smithfield, Rhode Island at the Gold's Gym, and I would watch her do aerobics. And even through just, like, kind of subconsciously, that was seeping in because I was literally looking at my future.
Where's the smallest, easiest place to start for somebody who's out of it?
Right now. Any time is right now. You don't need a Peloton. You don't need a reformer in your house. You just need your body and a mat on the floor, and body weight work is to start. That's it.
It's consistency, like we were talking about earlier. Just
Planks.
make sure you
Like
just go
Bethany's
out.
mom.
Just go out and do it. And if it's 5 minutes is all you have, that's 5 minutes more than you did.
Right.
And then it just keeps your brain.
We should
doing it.
finish this episode in plank.
My mom starts every morning with a plank in her closet.
See? And that, do you know how good that is?
Yeah, I mean, I aspire
It's
to
shoulder
be like
strength,
her.
it's chest, it's core, it's coordination. Even as you get older, just standing on one leg is very important, because stability, balance and stability is the foundation of any fitness. So, like, if you can't stand on one leg, like, You need to start with that.
Maybe we should
And
do this
then
after
you
the
move,
taping. We're gonna
right?
take
And
one.
then you move into, but like, again, that's as you get older, obviously stability and flexibility starts to wane. So you need to like be okay hopping on one leg.
Okay.
I know, it's kind of wild, right?
Dancing on one leg, kicking one leg.
I have a question for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
You've now both described yourself on paper or otherwise as pudgy little gay boys. Now you are two genuinely amazing, conventionally successful, handsome, lively people who have full of joy, full of happiness. And it just feels like maybe that possibility of that maybe it didn't always feel like this was who I was going to become. That my friends were also going to be queer, joyful, lively, successful, fit people. Like, I don't know what my question is, but it's an observation and I think something that I would love to hear your reflections
Well,
on.
I mean, I grew up in, Kansas and Iowa, and so I had very few people that, born in 1980, came out not until 2001. So I didn't have a lot of people around me that was gay that I could look at and be like, oh, that's me. Or, so it took me longer because it wasn't yet really on TV and stuff like that.
Right.
And I didn't see other people. As soon as I started to see and be around people in graphic design school, I was like, oh, weird, they're like me. But it never made sense to me to like boys because I didn't like boys. They were bullies and mean to me. And so, like, if you would call me gay, I'm like, I'm not gay because I don't even have any guy friends.
Remember that feeling?
Yeah. Oh, I do. And it's just like,
No, tell me about it.
It was overwhelming.
Yeah.
It was my orientation at NYU. And I saw boys dancing together for the first time. And I felt, honestly, I've never talked about this and I'm kind of welling up. The excitement of it was, talk about joy.
yeah.
They're like me. And the same thing. And remember, especially our generation, like, okay, same. I mean, even Rhode Island, my parents didn't have any gay friends. Mm-hmm. It was a flood. It was a flood of, and it was validating because I had gotten into the school, right? I wanted to go to NYU because I knew NYU was the most accepting and certainly the gayest. Any school with a mascot that is the Fighting Violets is the gay. So I was like, I'm gonna be here. But I do remember my mom saying, and she's gonna yell at me for this, we were on Bleecker Street. We remember these things. They don't. She's like, listen, if you get into NYU, like, don't get weird.
Oh.
And that was like a code for like, don't be gay. And she'll fight me on it. And she'll be mad that I just said that. But it is what she meant. And it's not, she evolved so much past that. I am her gay best friend.
Yeah.
But it was a different time.
It was a different time. And I think parents, they're worried for you. And yet, 20 years later.
Look at this.
I also think some of it is the reason we're so happy and, proudful and joyful.
Yeah.
It's like you go through those really hard times and you find your community, and it's such a wonderful experience in life to be able to find other people like you, celebrate it, and then and we have had progress. We've had a lot of progress. We can't, you have to look back and where we've come from. So we have a lot to be happy about. And I think coming from, I won't speak for you, but coming from where I was from to now, a kid who had no friends, ate lunch by himself and, with the teachers. And now that's such a shadow of who I was. I would never have believed at 8 years old that any of this life was possible.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think my dad probably is the most surprised. He probably wakes up every morning. He's like, wow, my son is like, maybe I'm tooting my own horn, but like, my dad used to have to drag me to basketball practice. He was the coach. And now I think that he's like really proud that I'm like a pretty identifiable fitness instructor, like, one of the most well-known like in the country. And
Yes, you
like,
are.
I mean, it's not a huge pool. And what a fun thing.
Totally. And I think, straight friend and ally, it's not much different than what straight people go through as well when they find a new version of themselves that has been hidden or pushed out, or whether that is in their body or their brain or their heart, and all of a sudden they come out of it and realize that this is actually who they are, and that is I think that's where we can all find
I love that.
a little connection.
There's a little bit of like making up for lost time.
Speaking of your book, what's the name?
Working title is Children of Providence, which works on a number of different levels.
Have you enjoyed writing?
Everything that authors say about writing a book. This is historical fiction based on true events. You find yourself staring up the face of Everest at the start of it, and you're like, where do I start? And every good novelist will say, you just got to get a sentence down. It's like literally you're in a rowboat. Elizabeth McCracken just wrote a really good book about writing, and I think it's called On Fiction. And oh my God, it really is that. So that's really scary. That's like, imagine being in a rowboat in the ocean. You're just, here I am, I'm old man in the sea. But you got to crack into it. And eventually 1,000 words turns to 10, to 15, to 30. It's scary. But when you're like, when I'm like, oh my, I have these moments where I'm like, oh my God, this is so exciting.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm now drawing between hearing you talk about writing and fitness and your kind of philosophy on life. There's a lot of parallels, right? Yeah. Between how you take things, how you do the job of being a partner, of being a fitness coach, of being an author. What is that perseverance? And
yeah, I think I get that from my mom.
Yeah,
I must get that from my mom. She's like a lioness, and she just like keeps going. And so, and then knowing that other people out there, you find inspiration. Like I'm just with people all the time. Mm-hmm. And you asked about joy. That actually is the best part of life, is connecting with other people.
Is that what, I mean, you have to walk in at an 100, right?
You
like
have
that's
to.
your job. You are obligated to come in at 100.
The fitness instructor that walks in is like, I'm having a shitty day, and believe me, there are some of them. They're like, I'm shitty. I'm like, I get that. It's not about being, yes, be genuine about it, but you still need to give the folks like, okay, yes, I'm having a shitty day, but you know what? We're gonna use that.
Yeah,
we're gonna use that together. And I know you're having a shitty day. You know, we're all having a shitty day. Let's use it.
Okay, Matty, final question. I want you to picture yourself a year from now, and it's been the happiest, fullest year of your life. What did you do the same or differently that made the difference?
Stopped modeling what was to come. Stopped living in the next hour. So it goes back to that presence. Like, why am I, if I'm sitting right here now with you guys, why am I thinking about the meeting or the show that I have in 2 hours? Mm-hmm. And every time I've gotten that right is when I've been successful. Because I used to think it was not I thought it was like a memory thing. I'm like, oh God, I'm so forgetful. No, it's like a presence thing.
Yes.
You're like, oh God, I'm so forgetful. Why'd I leave this? I'll walk away from the sink totally on. Or like a sandwich.
Walk away from it. Never happened.
Like one day I was like, oh my, there's a half-eaten sandwich here. And I left it there because I was already into whatever I was doing next. Yeah. Well, just enjoyed the sandwich.
Yeah. I'm guilty of that.
We all are.
Great. Someday. Okay. And then our very, very last question. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you want to say, that you want to get off your chest?
Oh my God. This has been such a delight. And I love these introspective conversations. The vibes in New York are so high right now.
Yeah.
And that's like, it feels like we needed this. And,
yes.
you know, we're really, the weather is gorgeous. Like, it's been 90 degrees with no humidity. It's giving me so much life. There was this interesting thing. I'm not like totally into astrology, but like I'm a Taurus, and apparently Uranus was stuck in Taurus for like 8 years. And there's like this unstuckness happening for like a few signs. Taurus is one of them. I think Leo's one of them. I think Scorpio's the other one. And it happened just honestly a couple months ago. And that's what I'm experiencing. And so that kind of goes hand in hand with the joy and the alignment.
Yeah.
Honestly, 3 years ago, if you had asked me to be on this podcast, I would probably have not been able to be as authentic. And I probably wouldn't have been able to be as honest and like vulnerable, certainly not as funny as I was today. So I really appreciate it.
Things.
All of those things. You're unstuck.
Thank you. Pretty unstuck. That's
great.
And it's definitely sticky from the spray tan, but pretty
Is that how you're so tan?
Yeah.
Now.
Clock it.
There it is.
Clock it. There it is.
You're
That's
wearing
it.
white. I'm like, no. It's not even. I know.
I got it. It's sugared in bronze, by the way. Actually, I'm doing my drag class, and it will have already aired. But like, we're gonna do like full blown out tan with like raccoon eyes.
Nice.
But like, I'm writing my comedy, and so sugared in bronze is this like. They sugar, they do waxing and they do tan. And one of my Mara jokes is going to be, I got the right thing sugared, but the wrong thing bronze. Which I don't know what that means, but it's very funny.
Perfect way.
This is what.
This has been Brain Glitter.
My friends. Maddie, thank you, dear friend, for coming on. It means the world, and this was perfect. Thank you so much.
I can hear everyone cheering.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Go get your bronze. Go get your sugar. Have an amazing day. Thank you for being here.
I love you both.
Love you too.
We love you. Yay! Before we go, we'd like to end this episode by spreading the joy. So we asked our guests to give a quick toast to someone, living or dead, who made their life brighter, lighter, and more joyful.
I love the sentiment of celebration of life. And so I have actually chosen somebody who's no longer with us. Her name is Paula Andriozzi, and she was my mother's best friend. She passed away from pancreatic cancer a few years ago, and entirely too soon. The reason why I chose her is I spent so much time with her and her daughters when I was a kid. And as a young boy who I wasn't really figuring out my sexuality when I was spending time with Paula, but I felt so safe with Paula. And in a way, I probably was escaping the boys in the neighborhood who I didn't want to play sports with, because at Paula's house, she had dolls, she had Disney, there were Disney characters everywhere. She was a tiny little woman in stature, but she was a big personality. She had a signature laugh. She wore a ton of jewelry. She always smelled good. And oh my God, the fashions. She definitely loved to spend money. In fact, she was the first person, I think it was probably the first Mercedes-Benz I ever saw. She was tiny, but she drove like this big, noisy diesel Mercedes-Benz. And I don't know, she just sits in my brain, and I still feel her to this day. I think honestly she would have been really proud of the person that I became, because she lived by her own rules. Like, her and her family, they went to Disney like multiple times a year, and she didn't care what anybody thought about her. She was just a joyful person. So I really carry Paula's spirit with me. And for somebody that like really knew how to live life and live large, again, like I said, even though she was a tiny little person, she was someone who I will think about for the rest of my life. I can still smell her. I can still hear her laugh. And so Paula Andriozzi, she knew how to live life, and I would love to celebrate her life. Yeah, that's my answer.
Thank you so much for listening to Brain Glitter. If you know someone who would enjoy this episode, please hit that little share button and pass it along.
To learn more about our guests, you can sign up for our newsletter at brainglitter.com and follow us on all the socials at BrainGlitterPod. Brain Glitter is a production of Who Says Studios and Skeebop & Sons, created and hosted by Sam Griffin and Bethany Hall.
We are so grateful for our little glitter factory, including Keith Haskel, Jordana Jason, Clare Kenny, Jenn Cambras, Paul Vitolins, Emily Fuller, and the brilliant team at Manhattan Neighborhood Networks. Our theme music was created by Cameron Myers.
And special thanks to our husbands, parents, families, and friends the unofficial and unpaid co-authors of everything we bring to the mic. We can't wait to welcome you back the next time you hit play. And remember, let curiosity pull you forward and joy find you wherever you are.
I mean, this episode is over.
This is over. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody, and we will see you next time.
Can't wait.